Welcome to this channel. The channel is for educations and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So, in this channel, we want to present what exactly happened because only we know what exactly happened, we know what it is. And Wing Chun is actually very deep type of art. It is not what today you see on speculations, research, and all type of hearsays. So today I like to share with you so that you be able to know what exactly is Wing Chun is about instead of going round and round on whatever people like to do or like to call it Wing Chun or Dia Wing Chun. Seriously, there's no such thing as my Wing Chun, your Wing Chun, this Wing Chun, that Wing Chun. Wing Chun was designed 100 years ago. If anybody want to call it your Wing Chun, this Wing Chun, that Wing Chun, might as well that learn from Bruce Lee. Call it Bruce Lee call it Jet Kune Do because this is its invention. There's no point to use the name which is not what it is. Like you try to label some other stuff with the olive oil label. It is not olive oil. Okay. So these few days, I share this much YouTube on the uh, Wing Chun history and all kinds of stuff. And my last YouTube is about this research in China, Sinologist best fighter can replace Wing Chun through transmissions. And within it, I share the mindfulness practice of Wing Chun, which is exclusive. You don't see other art have this, but Wing Chun have it. And so with all those lectures on Wing Chun, different angles based on evidence, uh, I got many martial art friends and Wing Chun friends contacted me to discuss. And so I make this YouTube today for everybody to leave this in the United States of America so people later on, maybe 100 years later, be able to find out what exactly has happened. Because you really cannot just create your own stuff and making all kinds of claim, pose any type of authority to punish anybody who disagree with you because you demand everybody to go your way or else going to make YouTube or whatever to punish you. In America, it doesn't work that way. Okay? This is a democratic world based on evidence. Now, this YouTube is very important because this is the first time the the way of develop mindfulness with Xiu Lim Tao is released to the public. You don't see this in past 130 years or since 1860s. Now, this is very important. Why? Because this is today's world. This is Senator Bernie Sanders of United States America. Okay, you see that it said AI could wipe out the working class. Okay, grave warning that white collar entry-level job will be eliminated by AI. It's just last week, and this is 3 months ago. AI is taking your job. What's the solutions? So to share this YouTube is to share a part of solutions on what we are facing, the AI era. And Wing Chun is rich. It have a lot of things to share with the world today. It's not what everybody think, or you make a movie and romancing the movie, romancing some past, and keeping it just have a group of people, and then you do research, but it's just spiraling in a certain uh, village or certain area or certain city or certain period of time, which you don't even see the big picture. Now, of course, people is going to question me, okay, as usual, on, hey, what you share here, is that valid scientifically? Are you sure? All kind of stuff. Because whenever I say scientific, you will have people who try to debunk me with whatever their opinion. Well, let's see what AI said about this YouTube. So this research in China, sinologist best fighter can replace Wing Chun through transmission. This is on the mindfulness, the exclusive for Wing Chun. Okay. So this is what it said. While the speaker used terms rooted in traditional Chinese martial and Buddhist philosophy, the underlying principle he described regarding attention, awareness, and self-regulations are well supported by modern scientific research into consciousness and cognition function. He effectively translates complex internal states into retailable experience like driving to convey the importance of these mental faculties. In summary, the speaker demonstrates an understanding of connection process that is consistent with modern scientific finding, even if his terminology is drawn from different domains. He highlights the importance of attention control and situational awareness, which are key areas studied in cognitive science. So that's the bottom line. That's not mind stuff. That's Wing Chun. That's every Wing Chun's inheritance. Every Wing Chuners who is proper, this is your inheritance. Thus, we have a part of solutions to solve this AI era to come. Okay? So this is what it is. Well, when we say something, you need to be able to experience it, be able to say it in the language, and be able to verify it with the scientific research today. So that's how it is. Okay? There's nothing superficial. And I don't control AI. Okay, sorry. I'm not Darth Vader. Okay, I'm not Darth Vader that I can control AI. It is objective evaluations. So so it is really, really uh critical situation right now. And we Wing Chuners have the solutions. So you practice Wing Chun, this come with the Wing Chun. So why not practice it as what I shared here? Do it every day. It actually help you to have one more part of solutions to face this AI world. Nobody be able to solve this entirely. Everybody have a piece of solution. If it integrated, then we solve the problem because we are human. Okay? Now, I like you guys to understand this song. This is a very popular song, a Chinese song, a Cantonese song in a Hong Kong TV series. But this song is Chinese tradition. Okay. So remember this. So the lyrics say, is the mountain the highest? Is this mountain the highest? Or is there another place higher than sky? And then it say, in this world there are mountains higher than this one, but there's no love better than yours. There are mountains higher than others. True love is as high as sky, and there are countless other wonderful things. So it's not about I'm the best, I know it all. It is about do you helping people? Like we all know Mr. Bernie Sanders. Okay. So it doesn't matter it's American or Chinese. You know that loving others, caring for others, that's higher than anything because it is we are human. Okay, so not about keeping talking about oh, I'm the highest, I'm the best, I'm the king of Wing Chun or whatever. Okay. And so the lyrics continue to say, in terms of martial art, who in this world is the highest? Or perhaps our unique skill are the same, but we take different paths. Like the peak of the mountain is the peak of the mountain. You have different paths to go to that peak of mountain. Okay, to arrive to the peak of mountain. And then said, but I know there is no love better than yours. Treat my heart well. You are always the best in the world. You want to be the best? Show your love. Give your love to people. That is the best. As for the martial art, it is like what? It is like a mountain, like Himalaya, the peak of Himalaya. But there are so many paths going up to there. You just have to understand that there's reality. And as the Chinese always say, one mountain always another mountain higher. Why do you want to compete? Why don't you fill yourself with love to help people? Okay. So that's Chinese teaching. And it's going to relate it to what I'm going to share with you. Now, in the previous YouTube, I talked about Surangama, the Surangama Sutta. I went to study Surangama Sutta when I got the Wing Chun 1850s writing, classical writing of Wing Chun. Why is Surangama important? Really important in the Mahayana or the Chinese Buddhism or the Zen or Chan Buddhism? This is the full name. Okay. The sutta on Surangama mantra that is spoken from above the crown of great Buddha's head and warn the hidden bliss of the Tathagata's million Bodhisattva practice that lead to their verifications of ultimate truth. The key here, the key here, beside the Buddha's teaching, it is this. Million Bodhisattvas practice that lead to their verifications. So it means it is nothing that you do 修炼头. You keep doing it, some days you will get it. It's no. You always have the practice and the verification, the theory, the practice, and the verifications. So Surangama is presenting the theory, the practice, the verifications of the samadhi, different type of samadhi, such as over here. Perhaps our unique skills are the same, but we have different paths. In Srangama, there are 25 paths to get to the enlightenment. 25 paths to get the enlightenment. So as they say, perhaps our unique skills are the same, but we take different paths. Now, what is important is you need to know, is this the peak or it is in the middle of the mountain? You are not at the peak yet, or you are at the bottom of the mountain. That's why you need the theory, practice, and verification. You know exactly where you are. So that's why Srangama is important. That's why I went to study it when I get the book when I was 17 years old. I have the monk teacher and everything show me. So you need to understand this. Based on this, I just share with you. There are different paths, but you need to know the state of attainment. Is it in the beginning? Is it in the middle? Or is it at the destinations? You need to know the state of attainment and you need to get a proper practice and to have a verification. So usually in the ancient is the teacher. Today you want to verify with the scientific because what if you don't even start it yet? And today with the vital signs, your heart rate variability, your breathing rate, you can verify. Have you get into that state? So now Wing Chun is not about opinions, interpretation, critical thinking, concept, and philosophy. You get into the bottom of the line. What is the path you follow? You can have a different path. What is the state of attainment? What is the practice? What is the verifications? You can have different practice because practice can be different path. But the state of attainment and verifications is always the same. Say if you climb a mountain, you can have different path, but you can always check the altitude, right? With the barometer, you can check the altitude, right? You know how many feet you get. That is what important. That's why you need a teacher who know the state of attainment and practice and verifications to guide you, to coach you. And today we can even use these scientific verifications. So the reason I learned Srangama is about this. You cannot have the 1850s riding in Xiu Lim Tao, and you have no idea on the state of attainment, the practice and verifications. And your practice can have variations because you can have different paths. Okay? Now, the entire Wing Chun can be mapped up with this map in a chronological order. So it starts at the 1,400 years ago. This is the Buddha's teaching. Samatha, which is the calmness, Vipassana, which is the contemplations, and Chan, the Zen. This is start, we put a set a line 1,400 years ago. And there are three, and they are the mainstream here, the mainstream here of this teaching until today, this Silicon Valley today. This teaching is never broken. You have all these monks here, okay? You can study that teaching. That's the Buddha's teaching. That is the core of the internal training, the qi gong, the nei gong. Doesn't matter you are Taoist, you are Confucians, you are Buddhist today in China. This 1,400 years ago have influenced the Chinese culture. So you know this is trackable. It's very solid. So this is like your physics in your school. And then you know there's general Qi Ji Guang's teaching, the Ming Dynasty teaching on Chinese Kung Fu. This is really solid until today. It is well documented. It is solid. And then there are the anti-Qing, the Hong Moon. Again, this is very solid. So you have this, it's like your physics, your chemistry, your mathematics. You have this basic, only if you have this basic, then you can go start to investigate, say, the anti-Qing Wing Chun 1850, the female art. You know this thing, whatever the writing here is from the Shaolin reform. It's not the real Shaolin come down, but the Shaolin reform is based on General Qi Ji Guang, as I shared with you in past YouTube. You know, Mei 12庄 is the derivations of the Samatha and Vipassana and Chan. Okay, you know where it's from. So if you have this, you know the states and the practice and verifications, you know how far this thing goes. And you know that based on writing, based on writing, that this writing, this writing is from here, and you can, and also from the Hong Moon, the anti-Qing, you can verify from directly from the source and verify from the background. Say you study uh, engineering, you can verify from who create this, in which university or which corporations. On the other hand, you can verify with the physics, chemistry, and mathematics. That's how you verify this. And so this is 2025 in Silicon Valley. What we have is here in America. And we also know that the Chinese have the scientific reform, as I shared the other day, in 1930s, start to using scientific instrument or Western science to explain, to verify what is in the Chinese martial art or Qigong teaching or internal art teaching. So today we have this. Now look into the China today. We know that what is the teaching of Dai Fa Min or Liang Zhan or Wang Wabo, they belongs to Pro-Qing Wing Chun 1860s creations. And from that, it derived down to Snake Crane Wing Chun, Yin Kei San, Yip Man Wing Chun, and Gu Lo Wing Chun. And within that, in the past 130 years since 1865, they are actually having many common denominator. And thus, the evolutions of Pro-Qing Wing Chun have spread to overseas. And yet, in China, 1965, you hit the cultural revolution by damaging a lot of things here. And we know today there are many things in the Chinese Wing Chun today in China is actually flow back from overseas because this is a great damage. For the past 10 years time here, you have most things wiped out. Like for example, the anti-Qing 1850s Wing Chun, all the document, all everything is wiped out because in that 10 years, you better don't touch it or you'll be punished or you be get go to prison and or you so or you torture. So there is a gap here. So today in America, we have this. If you see all this thing, they no longer have the Samatha-Vipassana or calmness and contemplating base. They don't have the Qi Guang base. They don't have the Hong Moon base. Okay. So if you go to China to make a research on this thing, sorry, you don't see what Wing Chun is. You can go around here, but you just trap here. You can find a sinologist, but you just reading words here. You don't know about this. There is a reality. And I'm saying this here is not that I'm the best, I know it all. No, based on evidence. In America, there is no authoritarian here. Everything has to based on evidence because it's not mine, it's everybody's. This is Chinese culture. Like we protect every culture of different races and different country here in America. We do not screw things up because we like to do so. We like to be the king. You look at the thing here today, the research and everything. Does it have anything to do with this thing? Does the sinology know all this thing? So why do people the other day asked me, how come I know that this is incomplete? Well, I know what you hear is incomplete because I know this. I have studied this, like the physics, the chemistry, and the mathematics. I look at your stuff, I know what is missing there. Well, you can argue with the sinologies or whatever, but you don't know what it is. Like the engineers in the Silicon Valley, we look at the design, we know who designed it because that different design have different style. We know which it come from, which group of people it come from. Just to share with you, in Silicon Valley, when we design, we can look at that. Is this, say, for example, a voltage-based design or is this current-based design? A current-based design will have a low voltage circuits. A voltage design will have the circuit which is stacked up with the high voltage. We look at that and we know which group of people, which guru in the Silicon Valley do that. Like, just name some names you might not know. Like Robert Weiler, he is in the current design, so his circuit is low voltage. Paul Broca, which is from analog devices, the guru, his design is a voltage-based design. Uh, Robert Weiler design is a current design. Robert Weiler is from Fairchild, from National Semiconductor Incorporated. We know. Why? Because we know this. Because we know the state and we know the verifications. So no, not there is no sinologist be able to come to Silicon Valley to understand Chinese or English and be able to see how is that circuit designed. Same thing. If you don't know this, you have no idea what it is. Okay. So this take me, again, I don't want to use me as a reference, but I just tell you my experience. It take me 40 years to go through all this thing. Now, that's why I share with you. The Samatha, the general Qi Guang, the Hong Moon. is the three really solid basic on the Chinese Kung Fu. You always want to rely them to verify is whatever created accord to what it is. So 1850s design, the Shilin Tao sets. You check on the home moon, you know it accord. It is a female art. It is a female art. You know it accord to the home moon. It doesn't matter it's in China, it's in Asia, or in San Francisco downtown, the Chinese Freemason, or Choi Lei Fat in Canton. You know they belong to the anti-Qing. That is the one part of the base on Chinese Kung Fu. You track it. Over here, people say that it is female art, but have any or anti-Qing, fighting to the Qing. But did they ever show you this piece of data where it converged in Hong Moon and Chai Lei Fat, which is verified? Same thing. The conversion with general Qi Ji Guang. The conversion with the general Qi Ji Guang. It convergence with the Shaolin sword strike. Where is your fist issue from heart from? It's from here. Shaolin sword strike. And yet, with this pro-Qing, Wing Chun, based on the teaching of Dai Fa Ming Gam, you know, from this writing of the Snake Crane Wing Chun secret note, they belong to the pro-Qing era. They no longer have Hong Mun. They no longer have Qi Ji Guang. They no longer have the Buddhist teaching of Samatha and Vipassana. From here, this is from the people, the story or gossip from Canton. We know about Liang Zhan. So we know. But if you want to know Wing Chun, you need to know this. You need to have the physics, the chemistry, the mathematics to analyze all this. You can even use this physics to analyze Hermes Zhuang because it's from this physics. Because Hermes Zhuang right now have come to this, go through cultural evolution and here. That's what it is. And of course, you need to know the transmissions. Where is the thing come from? Like over here, we know where is the thing come from. The transmissions. For the Samatha-Vipassana, we know exactly what it is. Who is come from. Okay? You need to check for the true transmissions. Not somebody go to China, make a research authority, become an authority king, and then claim all kinds of stuff and try to dictate the Chinese history. How much do they know anyway? How much those sinology, how much all those not being known? So let's go to talk about Wing Chun. Is Wing Chun for liberations or chain in hell with those best fighter, king of Wing Chun bullying behavior? What is Wing Chun? Is Wing Chun for liberation? Like the other day I talked about and I share, and many friends ask me, what is the liberations and chain in hell? Because I'm using the analogy of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's, and Darth Vader's. I said you can be Darth Vader's, but the force is not with you. You're going to chain in the hell. So what is that? Now we start. So yesterday in this YouTube, in this YouTube, I share with you the mindfulness training of Wing Chun with Xiu Lim Tao, where it's not being presented to the public for past since 1860s. You cannot find this in Yun Kui San note, in Snake Crane note, or Yip Man note, Gu Lo note, anywhere. But you can find in 1850s anti-Ching Wing Chun. Well, this is the mindfulness. This is the teaching of Samatha and Vipassana. You can track it out. So that's why we can actually use it to help ourselves, to help human in this AI era. And for 1,400 years ago, I just share here. I just share here. There's document there and teaching there. So in my book, Wing Chun Nei Gong, the quote, the chapter 3 is the teaching of 1,400 years ago, which is the base of Samatha. So this is the Mang Zhiyi. And all this practice, you cannot, okay, so Mang Zhiyi, when he presented this ancient teaching, if you read this chapter, you can find out that they always have the cultivations or the practice. And here it says cultivations to cultivate following breath, meaning following your breathing. One, abandon the previous method of counting breath. Okay, this is on top of the today's common counting breath mindfulness. This is one state on top. And then if you do it as the instruction, you need to have the realization, which is the states. The states of attainment. So you say, as for the realizations of following the breath, since the mind has become refined and subtle, it attained a state of tranquility, stillness, and freedom from any disturbance. One become aware of breath perceiving is long or short or pervading the body. It comes and goes. Oh, so this is all the attainment. If you practice that, you have the instruction, you will get into attainment. Same thing. If you practice the Wing Chun 1850, the thing which I just shared with you yesterday on this tree, on this, you practice it, you attain the states. And you today we can verify it with a scientific tracker. So nobody can bullshit. Everybody is fair for everybody. Everybody can benefit. Okay? And of course, do I is what do you call that? Smart. I'm the king of Wing Chun. I'm the ultimate grandmaster. No. To learning something from here, Samatha and Vipassana state. I have to go through the monk to learn, to get taught, to get verified, to get scolded, to get beat on the head. I have to go through this. So this is Jan Pratyak Xi. This is my Sifu, late Venerable Xuan Hua. So I can tell you share with you the story of it's not the story, the account. She in 1907 or something went to Bangkok, and he was meditate and in samadhi for, if I'm not wrong, 9 days. And the king of Thailand and all come and bow to him. That is his capability in attainment and verifications. That is his his level in samadhi. So you find you want to learn something like in his level or close to his level, you need to have people like this. And so he's is a student, and that's why my teacher refer me to him when I go study Srangama and all this thing. And whenever Xu have another student, this is Nan Huaijing. Okay, Nan Huaijing. Okay, so you can read here. He's a religious scholar and well respect spiritual, and you want to deal with chi and all the samadhi. Okay, he have really really clearly written out the teaching. So everybody is related to this the Zen patriarch. This is how it is. This is transmissions, and you need to have the state attainment practice and verifications, or else what do you know? Okay. So same with the anti-Ching 1850 Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao. It is not words like over here is, oh yeah, this is writing have this Chinese character. Come on. Okay. So that's why I open up. You better have this thing. People look at you is look at this thing. As for path of practice, every individual will be vary. Even you practice the same thing, because of everybody's body condition, health condition, fitness condition, mentality condition, it will varies. But the state of attainment and verifications, it is always there, and state of attainment always the same if you attain that state. Okay. So let's look at the Wing Chun, Wing Chun 1850s. Is that for liberations? Is like a chain in the hell? Where today everybody have the best fighter, king of Wing Chun, and then they do research in China. They have this authority. If you disagree with them, they say you are too old. You have diabetic. You are like zombie. I can slap you. That's called chain in hell. So it's Wing Chun and liberations. So this is samatha, the practice of samatha and vipassana, calmness and contemplating. This is the Zen teaching of the sixth patriarch. In the sixth patriarch sutta, this is Zen teaching, the core of Zen teaching. It talk about, okay, it talk about being is samatha, hui is vipassana. So this is the teaching. In debate, thoughts of victory and defeat stand in contradictions to the way, give raise to the mind of four marks. How can one attain samadhi? It means that if you go debate and fighting on certain thing which is you don't know, you want it to be, I'm the king of Wing Chun, I'm the researcher, I have the authority, I have the sinologist. That is say the thought of victory and defeat. And you're keeping making YouTube, try to slandering people who you don't even know what they know. That is called thought of victory and defeat. And that type of behavior stand in the contradictions to the way. You will never obtain samadhi. Okay, you just so attached to the mark of self. I am the researcher. I am the authority. Okay. How can you obtain samadhi? As soon as you argue or you're fighting, or I say, well, I can bully you, you have no concentrations. Concentration is also mean calmness, is also mean samatha. And conversely, no wisdom. Wisdom also mean vipassana. Wisdom mean contemplating. This is extremely stupid. When you argue, you give raise to your attachment to yourself and drasma, and then the four marks erase. You give raise the attachment to yourself, your sinologies. You are right, and you get the four mark erased. You are not present what it is. You argue, you know. There is a no. There is not a mindfulness. There is not about samatha and vipassana because samatha and vipassana is about mindfulness. Remember? The first thing, practice instructions. The first thing in the 1850 Shulin Tao, it tell you you better have your mindfulness. That is the tradition of the Buddhist teaching of samatha and vipassana. When you go debate and fighting and bully, playing authority, you already violate that. You will never get into samadhi. In fact, what do you know about samadhi anyway? So you're trapped here in hell. Now just look at the General Chi Chi Guang. Oh, look at Shaolin. What Shaolin say? Following the teaching of the Buddha, it meaning following the teaching of Vipassana and Samatha. One must practice compassion towards every living being. Even if one has accomplished at one skill, one must use the skill for self-defense only. One must avoid fighting or testing one's skill to prove who is the best fighter or number one. Violations of this is taken as the breaking of law because you violate the teaching of Buddha. You are not practice the mindfulness anymore. You are only mindfulness can get you liberation because you talk about what it is. You learn about things, you talk about what it is, you keeping learning, you continue to learn, and you want to attain that states, and you keeping learn various different ways of practice and different type of verifications. You don't have time to sit down there. I'm the best fighter. I'm the king Wing Chun. I'm the bully. All this behavior, because time travel like a water never stops. So you said the king of Wing Chun. Are you king of the Wing Chun now, the present, the past, or the future? Liberation meaning that you liberate from all those trap you in the king of Wing Chun or all those best fighter thing, because you know that the thing is flowing past, present, future. And as soon as you're keeping learning, you don't get into this, you don't attach into yourself. When you call yourself best fighter, king of Wing Chun bullying, you have bullying behavior because people do not take your demand as a king. You know you're trapped in you attached in your ego already. Okay? Especially you make YouTube slandering people. You put posts in the forum slandering people, you don't even know what you're talking about. That's the hell. Why? Because the hell always want to win. You can win this game because the world is impermanent. That's why you need to have mindfulness. The world is like an ocean. You need to have the mindfulness, which is like the wave. Uh, what do you call that? The wave surfing on top of the wave. You don't stand in the wave saying that I'm the king of Wing Chun. The minute you do that, you drown down. You go to hell. You trap. That's why in the Zen and Buddhism that you go to hell. It's not the cursed people. It's saying that you trap yourself. Or in other words, that you lock inside yourself inside your rabbit hole. Now, look at General Chi Guang's teaching. General Chi Guang said, once you learn the skill, you must test your skill and your opponent. The goal of testing is to find out the cause of winning and losing. Do not feel proud or of your victory or shame on being defeated. That exactly is to rebrate. That exactly is keeping learning, continuous learning. Not trapped to I am this, I am that, I know it most, I'm the authority, I do research in Wing Chun. So this is mindfulness. Qi Chi Guang is the Buddhist, and Qi Chi Guang teaching and the Chinese teaching is this. Is this. Does Qi Chi Guang ask you to go fighting? So the teaching of Qi Chi Guang is the teaching with the Shaolin the same. And Qi Chi Guang said what? One need to have a broad combat knowledge and keep on learning. As I just tell you, liberation meaning keep on learning, verify, attain, and so forth, so forth. Not to sit down there and I become the king of Wing Chun, or the authority, or the researcher of Wing Chun, or you get a sinologist, anything. You're completely missing the point. Qi Chi Guang tell you that, what one momentum type will endlessly transform to another or momentum type. There's nothing permanent. And it has this 5 ways of handling momentum: the give birth, the subduing, the controlling, the dissolving, the use of weight. It's keeping transforming. So that's the Chinese teaching. That is the Wing Chun teaching. Wing Chun 1850. It's not to, like today in the movie, I am the true grandmaster of Wing Chun. Let's fight. Fight to see who is the true grandmaster of Wing Chun. That is violating the teaching of Wing Chun 1850. That's violate it. You don't have the samadhi part. So if you do that, don't call that is a Shaolin art or Buddhist art. That is not the Wing Chun, which is the Buddhist art or the Shaolin art. That's for sure. Because if you call it the Buddhist art or Shaolin art, you have to base on Samatha and Vipassana, uh, calmness and contemplating, or this concentrations and wisdom. You no longer have that. So as what I say, the Buddhist is based on the Samatha Vipassana, concentrations and contemplating. The Shaolin is saying that you follow the teaching of Buddha, be compassion, and you don't do this because you do this, you're violating the Samatha and Vipassana teaching. General Chi Chi Guang told you to keep learning and never thinking that you are the best or whatever. It is still keep learning. It is Samatha Vipassana. That's why Chi Chi Guang is really, really very broad, very wise, very deep. And the entire thing of Chi Chi Guang Classic never in one sentence or any small detail tell you to be the king of Chinese Kung Fu. And yet in battlefield, how is Chi Chi Guang perform? Okay? So that's why the other day I released this. I released this 3 sentence. And so everybody now Be whoever want to know, want to practice properly, be able to know. That's mindfulness and be able to know. It is valid scientifically, and it is a solution, a part of solution in this AI era. That's Wing Chun. Not all those movie. I'm the fighting. I can fight everybody. Top big, top tough. The Shaolin don't do that. Chi Chi Guang don't do that. Zen far, far away from those things. There's no such thing as I am this Shaolin temple. I'm the Mui Jisim. I want to revenge and fight the Qing. There's no such thing. So we better know, you want to go to hell or you want to go to have a liberations and keeping learning and keeping improve. Isn't it keeping improving? Follow the teaching of the Zen, the Buddha's teaching, Samatha-Vipassana, the Shaolin teaching, the Qi Guang teaching. It's a liberation. It's so wide. The world is so wide. You can learn from so many things because there's no you. You're keeping learning. The rest is movie is movie. Those are hell. Okay. So you say, well, I'm going to challenge somebody in the rooftop. And you propagate that propaganda, market that. Who is the best fighter? You just show people that you don't know Chinese culture. You don't know Chinese martial art culture. And you are not in the advanced level. You'll never reach there. Sure, you say, well, I'm the best fighter right now. Look at how much competitions, combat fighters who even can be champion. What happened to them this year to next year? How long can they hold that? How long is their life? How many of those in those kind of arena commit suicide or having their body really damaged? The Chinese Kung Fu, based on the Buddha's teaching, is not that. Sure, they can die for the people, like the Wing Chun ancestors sacrificed in the uprising, the anti-Qing. But they are actually following the rule of the Shaolin. Their skill is for defense, to defend their people, their country, their family. They got nothing to do with I'm number one. So number one, you heard about the king. Number one, you act like authoritarian. That is the key of that. You go to hell already. You just don't know. You trap yourself. That's in the Buddha's teaching. Okay. Now let's get to the internal. Many people ask me, well, Hendrik, where do you learn 峨眉十二庄? Let's get real today. We know that in the writing, you cannot avoid it. It have 峨眉十二庄 DNA there. And yet 峨眉十二庄 is not the ultimate. Remember where it's come from? It's from Samatha-Vipassana. So if one study this, one be able to know what is the path. Remember, you go to here. In terms of martial art, who is in this world is the highest, or perhaps our unique skill are the same, but taking different path. If you know the physics, you know what is his design, which path he take. That's why I share with you, is that taking the voltage path or taking the current path. So You have the DNA, you can verify even that. Now, the Hermes Zhuang is passing down in the Buddhist tradition until 1930s. Okay, to a person named Zhou Qianchuan. So who is Zhou Qianchuan? This is the entire thing here. Make a Google Translate. Zhou Qianchuan, who live here, courtesy name is Di Hen. Okay, he was born here in this thing. And at young age, he has already attended missionary school studying Western medicine. In early years, he served as a military nurse. Later, in finance support of his father-in-law, he enrolled in Wuhan University. He then used government funding to study military chemistry in UK. In 1939, he fell serious. Despite the treatment of numerous renowned physicians, he became bedridden. He was lately cured by the Master Yongyan, a renowned monk from Mount Ermei. He subsequently became the disciple of Master Yongyan, who bestowed upon him the no, so he became a Buddhist now. He is the Zhenjiang. Ji Si is a lay follower. Okay, Zhenjiang. He became a Buddhist. So he got the teaching of the Ermei Zhuang from Grandmaster Yongyuan, the Buddhist monk, in 1939. And at that time, he's Western educated. So remember at the last time I shared with you guys that Tang Hao, Ma Li Tang, all this group of people working with uh, uh, Professor McCrory from United States America. They are college graduate. They are having the Western science understanding. And you see that Zhou Qianchuan, Grandmaster Zhou Qianchuan, is like that too. So it is belong to the China Scientific Reform, 1930. Okay? Now, let's look into the Hermes Zhuang. Let's look into the Hermes Zhuang. Okay? And of course, over here, this is a student, including a monk. Okay? And today's grandmaster in China are mostly the student of Zhou Qianchuan student. And those who is in America is the grand student of Zhou Qianchuan student. Okay? Now you need to know that. So this is the Ermei Zhuang. So at that time, Zhou Qianchuan in 1950s writing this is because they want to decode this part of the writing of the teaching for what? Again, attainment verifications, attainment practice verifications, right? Attainment practice verifications. So he was writing this on the Ermei Zhuang. Over here he said, okay, this thing and what is in here, then blue here. Now let's translate it in the in English, like Google doing it. So here he said the wonderful is in the mind. You know this is samatha stuff, samatha and vipassana stuff. So you know, 二昧十二庄, this is the writing, the ancient writing for hundreds of years. It is based on Samatha and Vipassana. And here it said that there are three methods: harmony with chi, harmony with spirit, and Mandarin harmony with the spirit of concentrations. Well, I shared with you the other day on this teaching, on this book, on the previous channel lecture. You have the body, the breathing, the mind. Your Jing Qi Shen is just the refine of the body, the breathing, and mind. And so Grandmaster Zhou Qianchuan, at that time, he is actually uh, commenting or making things easier for other people to understand what he's doing or what they are practicing in Ermei. So there are three methods: the harmony of chi, spirit, Mandarin, harmony, spirit, and concentration. And further, he said that there are three mantras of the O: harmony, spirit with meridian, harmony, spirit refer to the breathing. They use the breathing, inhalations and exhalation, and internal chi meridian. Okay. So, as what I share with you guys over here in the Wing Chun Nei Gong code book, Chi Alchemy begin the practice where mind, heart are independent. This level of practice is known as Shen and breath merge. Okay. Now, prior to that, you need first to get the state of the state of effortless mindfulness. Prior to this, you need to get into okay, so this okay. Following breath practice lead to the effortless mindful focus state, which is a higher level of mindfulness compared to the recall of the mind consciousness state. So in my YouTube here, in my YouTube here, what I'm sharing is the most kindergarten, the most kindergarten, called the mind or the conscious awareness state. Call it back. Then the second state is focused on it is the effortless mindfulness focus state. And only after that, you reach in the mind, heart and mind, breath are independent states. And then that is the Shen and breath merge states. Shen yi qi he. And then later, you have the Shen and qi flow merge. Shen yi mai he. So if you look at the the writing, the explanations or the instructions of Grandmaster Zhou Qianchuan, this is Shen yi qi he. This is Shen yi qi he. This is Shen yi mai he. You take a snapshot on this Shen yi qi he, Shen yi mai he. Isn't it here? Shen yi qi he, Shen yi mai he. Now, If you don't know this, if you don't know effortless mindful focus state, and then the recall the mindful conscious state, which I shared with you yesterday. You don't know this is the first state. This is the second state. Okay, so this is the calling back yourself, state one, effortless mindful focus state, state two. If you don't have this, how the hell you going to go here? How the hell you going to have the Shen in breath merge? Shen is Qi He. And if you don't have this, how the hell you going to have Shen and Qi flow merge? So what I'm trying to share with you here is this. This is 1950. Now, at that time, he showed the general public that, oh, you need to have the Shen Yi Mai He, Shen Yi Qi He. But in the 1950s, there are still people who know this. The people over there, the basic educations, know the calling yourself back and know the mindful focus state. That's the assumption. If people know that, then people can understand what he's talking about. Okay? Now, the issue is today, people don't even know about the calling yourself back, doesn't know about the effortless mindful. So, when you heard about this, it's like there's a gap between kindergarten to sixth grade. You have no idea what it is when people talk about high school stuff. And over on top of this is, of course, the university stuff. So that's the reason I wrote the book, uh, this book. That's the reason I wrote the Wing Chun Nei Gong Code book. Because you face it, China going this path, China went through cultural evolutions. In today's, you look at people, like even including the people I debunk in my YouTube, talking about this a snake arm, finger, pupa finger, or whatever heck. They don't even know that Zhou Qinchuan saying that it is snake slide worm move. They don't know. How about this? The Shen and Qi merge. The Shen and the flow of the Qi, Shen and breathing merge. Shen and flow of the Qi merge. Do they know? Do they practice 峨眉十二桩 to get to that level of attainment to talk on 峨眉十二桩? Not to mention, if you don't even know the calling yourself, how to call yourself back, your Wing Chun doesn't have it. How are you going to achieve the uh, my, uh, effective mindful, effortless mindful focus if you cannot attain the effortless mindful focus? How can you get into, as what Zhou Qianchuan say here? How can you get into this sun and breathing merge, sun and your chi flow merge? So today it is ridiculous like hell that people have no idea what it is, but doing dance. Like the person who said, it is not snake slide worm move, it is the snake hand pupa fingers. Are you serious? This Zhou Qianchuan is the what? Is the grand teacher of your teacher. So is your your great grand teacher know more than you, or you know more than your great grand teacher? So again, as what I said, the first thing when I want to study this, I go to the Samatha-Vipassana thing. And after that, I know what is this 峨眉十二庄 is about. I know what attainment you expect what they do, and there are different ways of it. I am not the expert here, but via this, like this, a physics education, I know what is the design is about. And I know that's why I know. My expertise is this 1850s Wing Chun. I know where is this part of 1850s Wing Chun get its idea or the design from. Or it's from Hermes Zhuang, or it's from White Crane, or it's from Shaolin Short Strike. That's how it is. Okay. And let me share with you, all these people, they are linked together. Zhou Qianchuan, remember? Zhou Qianchuan have a student who is a monk. And then the guy in America who think that he is the the like the spokesman of Hermes Zhuang actually is the grand student of this monk. How much he learned? There's a question. When that when the sifu of this monk saying that is snake slide warm move, that guy say, oh, it's the snake hand pupa fingers. You know how off already. You want to talk about the chi, the as what I just shared with you, the calling of second back. I mean, come on, you look at that guy, hey man, you don't have that. Your design do not have that. So let's talk about this monk. This is this monk. In the 1940s, around 40s, 50s, he was almost assassinated by the Kuomintang, or the today's China's the government of Taiwan, because the spy in the China at that time saying that he got something to link with Communist Party, so they want to take a hit, make a hit on this monk, the student of Zhou Qianchuan. So because okay, over here he said Nan Huaijing, okay, saving monk 激战 under the gun. So Zhou Qianchuan, this Nan Huaijing, he is the student of Zen Patriarch Xu. At that time in the Buddhist circle, in the Buddhism circle, Buddhist circle, meditation and everything, you can read about his book. There's a lot of things there in details on talking about the chakras and everything. So at this time, at this time, 1930s time here, people know who are who. People know your attainment, people know what you're practicing, and all kind of stuff. In today, China, as what I said, in Wing Chun, number one is that mindfulness, call yourself back. Number two is uh, effortless, mindfulness focus, effortless mindfulness focus. And then only that you can have your shen or your awareness merge with your breathing and your chi. Where is those content today? Have you heard anybody who claim they are doing Mei, who claim they do Wing Chun, have those really, really kindergarten basic? Have you heard that? For past 1 to 30 years is a completely void. Why? Over here, when the anti-Qing and pro-Qing here, the uprising, the Qing banned the entire thing. It's like a cultural evolution too. The Chinese cultural losing. And in the 1965 Cultural Revolution, all those things is another hammering, another void, another gaps. So that's what happened in China today. That's happened in worldwide Wing Chun and even worldwide You look at that, how many people really be able to do that? There's still people be able to do that. But how many people be able to do that in America? Well, if you can do that, as what I said, it's simple. Go for like I share. Go for this testing. Very simple. Show me that you can have your breath going down to 5, 6 within 5 minutes. You want that that is how you get when your shen and your breathing is matched. Until then, you don't have anything. Just claim. So I hope that those people keeping asking me, oh, do you know who teach you does it matter? When you hold this, the entire Samatha and Vipassana stuff, and you know the states, it's like I live in San Jose here. I know how to get to San Francisco. I can go to San Francisco with Highway 101. You can get to the San Francisco with the Highway 280. I know. I know what you can do. I know you are using 280. But do I have to go, oh, I have this teacher to learn this? If I have time, I'll learn it. But I'm doing Wing Chun 1850. My path is Highway 101. So asking that question about who is your teacher, it doesn't say anything. What you want to ask is what is your state of attainment? What is your practice in details? What is your verification? I just shared with you. The state of attainment of 6 breaths per minute in the natural pace. The practice is your awareness and your breath become independent or shen and breathing merge. The verification right now, the most objective thing is this. Your heart rate drop, your breathing rate drop, your heart rate variability go high. Okay? That's how it is. We're talking about Chinese Kung Fu is not to drop names, as Venerable Xianhua told me. You better stand on your own feet. Because all this, like this is also in today's, if it, in the Wing Chun words, terminology, this is my Si Sok, this is my Si Fu, this is my Si Gong. People check you, okay? So can you bullshit and say, well, I'm the student of Venerable Xianhua and go all around the world. I'm the authority. Forget about it. Okay? The teaching from my Sifu is that you be able to stand on your own feet to tell the entire thing if you really know. If you don't know, shut up. Okay? Now, do we know about the this is the their like the teaching of Shaolin. One must not betray the teacher and betray the Tao or the teaching. One must not use one skill for evil act. One must not using the skill you learn to make money. One must not jealous to your classmate. Okay? One must not bullying and testing your art. And he said that the above precepts Now take a thing and go translate it. The above precepts, all our Buddhist disciple has to follow it. There's more thing here about how to, kick you out from school and send you to the government for, because you are violating all this thing. This from Mei. So look at those people who have no idea what is Mei Zhuang and keeping saying that my Sifu is this guy. I have this Mei Zhuang. Are they real? In the ancient, they will have a clean house, okay, because these people violating the precepts. We know. So that's why I wrote all this thing. Wing Chun Inceptions is for your the 1850s writing and everything and all this chi flow and everything, the basic. The resurrecting Wing Chun is how it connect to the Shaolin short strike, connect to the Chi Chi Guang. Decoding Wing Chun is you need to know how to breathe if you're a martial artist. The Wing Chun Nei Gong code is to get into the Samadhi, the Vipassana, to get into this part so that all the kindergarten, like uh, call yourself back, now people know. Otherwise, you have no idea. Like you even read this Grandmaster Zhou Qianchuan's writing to know what the heck he's talking about. You will know the Chinese character. You can get a sinologist to get the Chinese character. But if you miss that step of calling yourself back, you go nowhere. You're just talking terms. Okay? So this is what I like to share with you. So I share with you the picture of what is going on based on history and scientific evidence. The second thing, I share with you that Wing Chun is not having those I'm the best fighter, including Bruce Lee's what this is movies on if you talk about who is the best fighter, that's wrong. That's not Chinese. That's not Wing Chun. And another thing on this the internal cultivations of Wing Chun, you need to start with what to calling yourself back, or else you don't know the kindergarten stuff. How are you going to attain to the states? How are you going to 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 know your pathway and verifications? So this is what I like to share with you. It's a lot of things that I myself cannot do everything. I only can go this far for you. And I just hope that somebody go studying it, go to dig it out more. I'm just a human. I'm almost 70 now. I spent 40 years for this thing. With see all this teacher, know what he's talking about. I'm not the higher advanced master. No, I'm not. I'm just focused on kindergarten stuff, like calling ourselves back, like have a effortless, mindful focus so that we can live in today's world. It is the AI world. It is not that hell of I'm the best fighter, I'm the authority, you shut up, I slap you, you're old, you're slow, you're diabetic, you're a zombie. It's not that. Chinese Kung Fu is not that. Wing Chun is not that. Okay? So I leave this mark in the history of the Chinese martial art, on the history of the Wing Chun. I say it here, I leave the mark here, I take the full responsibility. If anything, blame me in the future. Okay? The rest I don't want. I don't need your praise. I just want to make sure that all our Wing Chun friends, all our brother and sister, being safe, okay, avoiding dangerous stuff, and be able to live in a good life in the coming AI era. It is real. You think that Senator Bernie don't know what he's talking about? Think we don't have time for this kung fu fighter or anything type of stuff. We need to use Wing Chun in the daily life because Wing Chun is not what people think in the movie or make the movie.